So, hi guys, how are you? Everything okay?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
really happy to have you here. Let me say to you, just from the beginning of the interview, Alberto is right now like your biggest fan all over Europe. He's in
Yes,
every
yes,
podcast we
yes.
have. In every episode of our podcast, he's saying Rafael is gonna win Eurovision 2021. He's like, okay, Alberto, we know you
No.
say it
i-
again and again.
Alberto, for the president. Okay.
Ah, no. In fact, I
All right.
said Rafał is the winner of Eurovision 2021. Give them
Oh,
the crystal microphone. That's it. Hola, soy Dani Fernández. Hablar de 1994 es hablar de 5 sucesos históricos. Tassotti le pega un codazo a Luis Enrique, José María Aznar pronuncia una de las frases más conocidas de la democracia,
Váyase, señor González.
nace medio equipo del Movidas, Lorena Bobbitt le corta el pene a su marido y un país debutante casi gana Eurovisión. El Eurofestival está repleto de supersticiones. Junto a la maldición del segundo puesto, los debutantes parecían estar condenados a ser una sorpresa positiva, como mucho, pero sin pasarse. Este mito fue tumbado por Serbia en 2007, cuando María Serifovic le cantó su plegaria a toda Europa. 40 puntos separaron a Edita Gorniak del trofeo en Dublín, dejando a Polonia en una segunda posición que supa gloria al país debutante. Y eso es todo. Hasta ahí el palmarés de Polonia en Eurovisión. Hasta ahora. Porque con 22 participaciones entre 1994 y 2019, el país centroeuropeo solo ha cosechado 3 puestos entre los 10 mejores. El ya mencionado segundo puesto de Edita Gorniak se suma al séptimo de Ich Troje en Riga y al octavo de Michal Špak en 2016. Hundidísima por el jurado en aquella final, con tan solo 7 puntos, el televoto le pondría en tercera posición, otorgándole la nada despreciable cifra de 222 puntos que le sacarían del pozo en uno de los mayores desacuerdos de toda la década. El resultado de Michal Špak no deja de ser representativo de la trayectoria polaca en los últimos años, ignorados por completo por el jurado, que les hubiese dejado sí o sí en las semifinales desde su regreso en 2014, pero sin embargo han sido salvados por un televoto que parece estar esperando una candidatura competitiva del país para llevarlos de vuelta al top 10. Pero en 2021, queridos amigos, la cosa va a cambiar. Rafał ya ha sido proclamado vencedor de Eurovisión 2021 por mí mismo, con lo que la EBU debe darle ahora mismo el micrófono de cristal que le acredita como ganador de esta edición. Eso sí, para la actuación de exhibición en Rotterdam le pedimos algo, que se lleve a los componentes de Skuch y a Carlos Pecharroman como personal de vuelo.
Rafael, how are you from Poland?
hi guys. I'm very well. Nice to see you guys, and I'm happy to have a little chat and talk about Eurovision and the ride and about all the opinions. So I'm enjoyed to be with you guys.
So let me start by saying that you are right now in a atrium. You said because everybody can see you now with your headphones and the microphone. Where are you
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah, I'm on an apron. I'm in the aircraft because flying is my big passion right now. So when I have a free time, I try to spend a little time in air just to practice and for fun. And your mind is focused on something different. So I'm waiting after this a very nice chat. I'm waiting for departing to Warsaw because I'm in city Zamość. And I will just try to fly with the small aircraft. Look, it's really
Wow.
here. waiting for you, and that's why we can talk a little bit. You know, flying is my passion, and I love to fly, especially aerobatics, because I started last year and I fall in love with this. If you are in the air, if you are a pilot, you need to fly just. And I thought maybe we can talk a little bit here, and you can hear me, I can hear you and see you, so that's perfectly.
Mientras que Polonia en el senior no ha tenido demasiada suerte, los últimos años han convertido al país en una auténtica superpotencia en la versión de niños, sumando 2 victorias consecutivas, la de Roxana Begiel en 2018 y la de Vicky Gabor en 2019. Esto provocaría que la televisión polaca organizara los festivales del 2019 y del 2020, convirtiéndose el segundo en el gran primer evento de la EBU tras la cancelación de Eurovisión por la pandemia. ¿Y quién estaba allí? Pues por supuesto, el Bertín Osborne polaco, nuestro querido Rafał.
Here in Spain, we have a really similar figure to you, which is Bertín Osborne, and you are really close to that in the Eurovision world, because for some people, I think most of the fandom in Spain know that you were the host for past year's Eurovision. Was any thought in your mind when you were hosting the junior show that you were going to represent Poland?
It's a funny story. I spoke with Martin Osterdahl. He's a chief of EBU, and he asked me, "You are also a singer, Rafał?" I said, "Yes, of course, I am. But you don't want to act in Rotterdam in the big Eurovision?" I said, "No, I don't know. I did that in 2017, but I took a second place. So oh, really? So maybe this year?" I said, "No, it depends about the music. If I will have a good song, I can try. But if not, it's not for me. I don't want to. It's not a reason for my life to be in a Eurovision and to win that. It's about the music. You know, if you love the music and it's your passion, never knows. You can never know what happened in your life." So it was this funny story, and I didn't expect that. What happened later? So the Junior Eurovision was so big experience for me, and it was really something that it's a lot of. I have a lot of experience how to do that, how it's created, and just from behind the scenes. You know, you stand on the stage, you see the rehearsals, you see what's going on around. So it's really something fantastic.
And I want to ask you a very important question. And what makes you happier, the singer Rafał, or the presenter Rafał? What's more important to you right now?
It's a good question, Luis. You know, when you are performing as an artist, you are the creator of something new. That you need to record the song. You need to create from nothing a hit or a song. But if you are working as a host, you need to carry on about the tense a feeling for the show. You know, you are the host, you are the owner of the stage, but the texts are written, and you need to be as a journalist. Just you know, you need to have a good, clear mind to focus. If something happened, you need to react. But if you are performing, you are a musician, and that's, I think, the most important to me, to be a musician. If I should decide to be a host or a musician, 100% musician.
You are, as you say, right now you are more focused on your music. Also, you're having your career as a host. But you have seen with the Junior Eurovision Song Contest, you see a different perspective of the contest, because not many people, not many contests past years has been like as different as the Junior Eurovision 2020 was. Because not many countries travel to Poland. And how did you live that experience? It was so different because in other years the countries go to the host country and they perform there, but you saw everything from far away.
Yeah. So Yes, of course. It was a few technical problems with the connections, but finally we did that, and we didn't expect what is going on. You know, the kids and the contestants, they were at the green box. Green rooms, yeah, green rooms. They were sitting in the studios, and all the connections was by the satellite. So if you ask the question, you need to wait 5 seconds for the answer. So the time and delay is really, it's not like that we are talking and you can say, okay, Rafael, next question. And so I heard that I can answer to your question very fast. Then you need to wait. So sometimes we want to just have a time match for the answer, but they you ask the question and kids are just like, oh, I'm looking good with this. Oh, okay. What? Oh, as a question. Oh, okay. So, and everything is. So it was funny, and we liked that, and it was something fresh. But the experience that you've been through it, and you stay. I was a co-host for that. It's a big experience, and I think now different with this all the Eurovision process, because I know what you can do that, and you need to be from the beginning to the end. You need to repeat everything for 100%, 100% 10, and 100% 20, and more. So you are like in a sport tournament. You need to be prepared for all the rehearsals and for the final performing.
Este no sería el primer contacto del artista con el festival, ya que antes de conducir la edición junior ya había quedado segundo en el Craiove Eliminatie de 2017 y había formado parte del jurado del país eslavo en el festival de Tel Aviv.
Most of the people they didn't know that we are as a judge judging the rehearsal, the final rehearsal before the main event. So it's one day before, and the next day it's the same performing, but it's live also with the audience, and the audience can vote. So there are different, because it's impossible to write all the answers or all the points in 1 second from all the countries. They need to prepare for that. So they judge one day before, and they send all the results, and they are just prepared. They have points and votes, and they are waiting for the people. For their voting. So what people they think that we are in the same time, but we are not. So one day you can sing better, and one day you can sing worse. It's up to you. It's sometimes unexpected. You feel the energy from the people, and you can sing better, but you can feel more energetic, and you are more stressy.
The Right será la canción con la que representará a Polonia en la Eurovisión del año 2021, una canción que estaba destinada a su próximo disco, pero que por azares del destino acabó siendo versionada en inglés y volando a Rotterdam.
I think the reason was the song idea for the energetic song that you can sing with that, you can dance with that, because they thought probably about the pandemic situation, that you are at home, no concerts, no parties officially, and people want to dance and have some fun. It should be energetic, color, and full of love and passion of music. That's why they decided. So it happens very fast to me. I wasn't prepared for that. I prepared a song in Polish for this year, and for the beginning of the year, I have the idea for the right with my album in autumn this year. So it happens so fast. They choose the song, and wasn't expect that. So I said, okay, let's go for the right, and let's do that in English. The idea was to sing it in Polish, the right. So it was really amazing, and suddenly everything happened. You need to record the video clip, and everything starts. So now it's really busy time for me, and also my work and hosting in TV. But I like it. I'm a little bit excited, a little bit stressy for that, and what I can tell, it's the experience of my life right now. The most important thing what it happens in my whole career, musical career, all career in the TV.
Okay, after a pandemic year, we have a lot of ballads this year, so I guess that's very good news for the right. It's time to dance, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it was the reason they look for the songs, and they have experience that there's a lot of ballads. So let's do an energetic song with the ride, and I love it because it sounds really great. It's a little bit retro 80s. I love that. I want to have this song with the feeling of that. That's why I asked Thomas Carlson for the song. He's my friend from Sweden. We have the chance to meet each other like 3 years ago, and then compose something together for the Universal. So that's why it was really fun and happened so fast.
So this year we didn't have the Sangsana success, if I say maybe kind of right, process like last year. But you came from that same TV show like Alicia did last year, 24,
Oh my
2002.
God! Don't say that because it was almost 20 years ago.
Como bien sabemos, esta edición de Eurovisión será completamente diferente, y uno de los elementos que cambiará es que no tendremos pre-parties. Sin embargo, Rafał ha decidido montarse la suya propia en su casa, y su primera invitada ha sido Zenit.
Is incredible. I'm her biggest fan right now because of her sense of humor and being on a stage. She has a great personality. Adrenalina on the stage was perfect. So we sing Waterloo together with her version. It was really something amazing that we are contestants and we are on the opposite side here to win the contest. But I don't feel that. She was my friend, and we have fun, we laugh, and we enjoy our time together. She was so kind, and really, I'm her bigger fan right now.
Y esta edición del festival también será distinta por las burbujas. Como en el Movidas son unos borrachos, me excluyo, han preguntado por el tema verdaderamente importante.
We asked James Newman about the bubble, because I don't know if you are aware about, you are going to be in a bubble in a hotel there in Rotterdam. And
I don't know this. Okay, so
Yes.
it's something new. Thank you so much. The bubble.
That's
All
correct.
right, we're waiting for that. I will take some bottles to the bubble
That's what
Okay.
I'm about to ask you, because
or a soap.
he said he's a lot of into whiskey, so he was gonna grab some bottles of whiskey. So maybe you can grab some bottles of spiritus and make some citronówka there. So what are you gonna do there?
No, I think the contestants they are waiting to meet all the guys. You know, it's a big community with the artists. I don't want to drink with everybody because maybe they have like a tactic to drink you and you can't sing another day. So you need to wait for that. So I better prepare myself. Water and that's it. It's good.
Nombres como Pablo López, Daniel Kaimakowski, Oceana o el gran Alexander Rybak compartieron escenario, o mejor dicho, pista, con Rafał en el proyecto Live It, la canción oficial del Campeonato del Mundo Masculino de Balonmano que se celebró en Qatar en el año 2015.
Alexander Rybak, very nice guy, and he took a violin and he played for us in somewhere real. So we met together in Paris to record all this, and really we were talking about Eurovision in this period of time. Alexander Rybak is a known person for the Eurovision, so I was really happy to meet this guy. And that's the most important thing, that you meet a great person, a great personality, and I think I'm ready for that. And I can't wait to meet you guys, all the fans of the Eurovision, the journalists, and of course those great artists, because they are great. And we need to say that every artist representing in their country, they are really great with this job.
Gustará más o menos, pero de esta entrevista hemos sacado en claro dos cosas. Primero, que Rafał ganará Eurovisión 2021 porque lo digo yo y punto pelota. Y que si no gana, al menos él tiene un avión y vosotros no. ¡Chincha rabiña!
So, Rafał, thank you so much for being in Europe with us.
Thank you guys, and many hugs from Poland, and thank you for this opportunity to meet you and to talk with you. And I hope we can meet all together with healthy in Rotterdam in this big event with all the artists. And so let's go for the ride. I'm ready, you know. Checklist is okay. Okay. Start. And, you know,
So right now you're gonna
Go
have
with
the
me.
ride of your life.
yes, of course.
So thank you so much, Rafał.
Yeah, bye guys. It was a pleasure. So stay healthy. Bye bye.
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 So baby, hold on for the ride of your life.